mi hijo, quiero que vayas a la universidad, is not enough. Well, I want to go to college, is not enough. If you're not doing stuff to kind of get there, well, you got to prioritize education. You got to how do you prioritize? Well, being involved in the school, going to the teacher-led conferences, going to any family nights they have, going to meet the teacher, going to meet the counselor, talking to your kids about education, give them a time to do homework. Make that a priority. I know parents sometimes come late, and I tell them, hey, and I got this from my own family. They come, they're tired, want to watch some novelas. Well, you can't tell a kid, go over there and do your homework when we're right here watching novelas with 3 or 4 people conversating and having a good time, and expect that kid over there to just be doing, no, you gotta sit down, read a book with them. You want them to start reading, sit down, get up, whatever you could read, or pretend that you're reading, but sit down. Show the kids that it's a priority. If you're going to take them somewhere, why don't you take them to a college campus? And it's kind of that mentality. What university are you going to? It's never even a question. It's not a question about, if we're going, it's where we're going. Having high expectations too. Having those high expectations. The parent involvement goes a long way towards student achievement. And I kind of remember Boyle Heights came when I was at Hollenbach, and one of the teachers told me about it. I was like, okay, I was a 6th grade department chair at that time, never thinking about rolling this out, and we thought this would be great if we could talk to our parents. So what do we want them to do at home? Well, we always talk about, a lot of people talk about the community and the parents are not involved, or parents are not doing this or that. Just because I came from a similar demographics, I know sometimes it's not that the parents don't want their best for it. It's not that they believe in it. Sometimes they don't know what to do. Like my mom's family came from a little ranchito in Mexico. She didn't know. They went to 6th grade, the highest education. So yeah, they tell the kids, dale ganas, but they didn't know how to translate that at home, how to support at home. So I thought it was a great way to bridge the whole teacher, parent, disconnect by having this workshop. Your organization came on, basically told us all we had to do was deliver the workshop. They were going to call the parents. The workshop was developed. All we had to do is kind of study and tweak it. Right. So I thought it was a great way. Hey, let's get these parents on board. Let's stop complaining about the parents don't come, the parents don't know this. Hey, let's communicate. Let's work together as a little triangle for student success of teacher, student, and parent. I told the teachers here about the great progress I saw in my students who attended the workshop. Just about 80 or 90% of them, their scores went up from 5th grade to 6th grade. And like I always tell the parents, it's like my opening spiel whenever I do workshops, and I didn't do anything different during school hours. I did not tutor those kids. I did not give them special attention. All that happened was their parents came to my workshops. And those kids never gave me behavioral problems. They came in motivated, we could kind of see why. Their parents come and they're learning from me, so their parents are going to hold me to a higher regard. If the kid complains, we know Mr. Cruz. We don't know, we know what he's about. Because they met me, because we have workshops together, because we built kind of a relationship. And those kids just became self-motivated. And their scores just jumped up. And that happened has happened for 3 or 4 years. Their CST data went up. But also just their engagement. They were more engaged. They did their homework. And the kids seeing their parents coming to school, in their free time, spending their Wednesday nights, at school or Saturdays or whatever. And that shows the kids, hey, my parents are prioritizing my education. That's a priority to them. They're spending their own time, and then, the parents go do some other strategies, simple things like having a quiet homework space, or asking them probing questions, even if they're watching, or turning down the novella or whatever. So they'll do those things, and then, that triggers a message to the kids. This is important. My parents are taking the time to do this. One of the moms, and she actually ended up started coming up, I think, once a week, and gradually it became once every 2 weeks, and then once every month. Her kid was having problems, and he was academically not performing. She came to the workshops. We talked about the strategies. We talked about contacting your teacher, your principal, your counselor, setting up a meeting. And that's how we got started. So she came in. We had our initial meeting. Started doing that routine. And like I said, that kid ended up being one of my math field day kids. and he ended up moving from basic to advanced. We saw the difference in the kid's attitude. He was very compliant, especially with me and my partner teacher, and he kind of improved his academics, and he put in the effort that he needed to. And I think the mom was implementing the strategies that we did in our workshop. We started out by setting up an appointment, sitting down with him, giving him homework time, making sure his homework was done, reviewing his homework, asking him what he had done to explain to her. And yeah, that became one of the successful stories. I actually told our mom, and she might have, like, oh, come and like speak to the parents next year. And what I do just for whenever we have workshop or family nights, I promote it. I promote it a lot. I try to make phone calls, say hi to the parents. I always kind of try to do that in the beginning of the year. Try to call every parent 1 minute, say hi, introduce myself. Especially the kids that have behavior problems. Hey, your kid's doing good this first week. Yeah. But that way you already built that good rapport. So when you ever have to make that second call, all right, I'm not just calling with negative news. Remember I called you when he was doing good. We need to continue that. Working with adults and being able to change your lessons to accommodate whatever your population is, especially being used to working with kids, 6th grade kids. The kids have been really good, just kind of coming in and like, oh, I've done this for years, you're going to do what I say. And you kind of forget almost why sometimes. And realizing they're adults, you can't tell them, hey, be quiet, oh, don't do this. You got to, hey, change it up to meet your population. You got to differentiate your instruction in it. So as a teacher, that kind of helps me out. Like, how am I going to deliver this to the parents? How am I going to make it stay with them? How is it going to be different? How am I going to do the management? How do I have them come back? Because they don't have to come back. So you gotta hit them the first time. You gotta make it engaging as a teacher too. If you can't hook your players into buying into your system, into believing the message you have to say, you're not gonna be as successful. That's part of your job. It's like a principal's job is to motivate his teachers. So I think that's one thing that I learned. I learned the best, incorporating music, relating to the parents. And that translates to the kids too. Sometimes we forget, hey, you got to relate to the kids too. You got to have them buy